Well, hello everybody and welcome back. Um, I was asked to do videos on airbrushing, so I'm going to do that. I figured the best place to start would be how to power your airbrush. Now, there's guys out there that sell little canisters that you can get. They're propellant cans. Mostly they work on butane gas that's been compressed. Sometimes it's pure oxygen, but mostly it's butane because it's just compresses a lot easier. Um, then you have guys out there that will use just the tank portion of an air compressor and charge it with the air that they want at a gas station or whatever, or even a bicycle pump to fill up the tank, whether that tank be a tank like an air compressor tank or an inner tube for a tire. It all depends on that person. Some people buy just the compressor head, which is this part up here. It has outputs just the same as any other compressor, but without the tank, it provides a pulse of air through the airline. All those options I just discussed are decent options if you ain't got enough money to buy an actual air compressor. But guys, air compressors are a dime a dozen, to be honest with you. This entire air compressor you can get at Harbor Freight for about 40 bucks. And if it's on sale, you can get it cheaper than that. It'll have the same things that this one has. This is a hot dog style tank. You can get them with a pancake style tank. It really doesn't matter. The most important things to do is make sure it's got one of these. This is a safety pressure release. If the air pressure gets too high, this will pop out. And as you could hear that hiss, I didn't know I had any air left. That hiss will release all the pressure. If you're done airbrushing for the day and you shut off your air compressor, pull this, let it discharge most of the air, and then come down here. What you got here is a bleeder valve. Screw it in or out depending on which model you have, and that will allow you to drain any water from the tank or anything else. When it's open like that, unfortunately, you also can't compress any air. I'm just going over basic maintenance with you. Now, you'll have two gauges. I know mine are old and dirty. This gauge here is your tank pressure. That's what's actually in here. This gauge over here, as we can see, it's got a knob attached to it. This is your regulator gauge. This will tell you how much air pressure is in your air line. This is what actually supplies your air compressor. You can turn it up to get more air in the line. You can turn it down to get air out of the line. I would suggest never running any airbrush over 50 psi. They're not meant to handle that. Now, this is considered a low pressure air compressor. This does 100 pounds of air. That's it. It will compress up 100 psi of air. And that's good for most any job that you'll ever have. I would suggest if you're going to airbrush, always get an air compressor with a tank. They're relatively cheap. I've seen testers have just the pump head with no regulators whatsoever, no gauges to let you know anything's going on, not even a moisture trap, for 100 bucks. Ain't worth it. Save yourself half and get one of these. They're a lot more reliable. And on the plus side, because they have the 1/4 inch hose adaptation, you can run anything 3/4. Anything 1/4 inch. Alright? That means if you need to pump up a bicycle tire or car tire or whatever, you can just get the chuck for it and go. Many uses for a model railroader with these things, not just around the house and not just for airbrushing. You can get staple guns for them. You can get brad nailers for them, so that way you can get your bench work together in a couple of minutes. There's many things you can do. You can get air saws, air ratchets. Um, you can even get air chisels, air planers. They're a little bit more pricey than most of the electric ones. I've seen air sanders. You know, it's worth it to have around the house for any odd job that you need compressed air for, and it's worth it to also have it for model trains. So if you're trying to justify the expense of one of these behemoths to a significant other or even to yourself for anything with the hobby, the only thing you gotta tell yourself is, what else can I use it for? This has a multitude of uses. I use it to pump up the tires on my pickup truck and on my car. I use it to pump up the kids' bicycle tires. I use it, heck, just to clean out air filters. That's how useful this thing actually is. And since this is my tips on airbrushing, always get a compressor with a tank. The reason why I say with a tank is that you can be airbrushing, and the only time that you have to stop airbrushing is when you hear this motor kick on. As soon as this motor kicks on, stop airbrushing. Even with the tank, that will give you a pulse of air. But it normally only takes it a minute and a half to charge completely back up, and then you can go right back to airbrushing with a constant regulated flow of air. No pulsing through the airbrush, no spits of paint anywhere. This is definitely my go-to for airbrushing. I've tried propellant cans, and they're great if you're doing weathering and stuff like that, where you don't need a steady constant supply of air, you just need short bursts. I wouldn't suggest for any actual airbrushing, such as doing one car completely repaint. It's not worth it. Now, when you get up there to the compressor heads, that's just a pulse of air. You can get yourself a big old tank. Bigger than this one, you can get yourself a 5-gallon air tank. Unfortunately, you're going to have the problem of, when you're get done doing 5 or 10 cars, you've only got about 10 pounds of air left, and it's not even enough to run your airbrush. This contraption is about the most time-saving and effort-saving piece of equipment you will own for airbrushing. It's definitely worth the 30, 40, 50 bucks you're going to spend on a 1-gallon to 2-gallon air compressor. This is my video for today. Sorry about that, but definitely get yourself an air compressor if you're going to do airbrushing. It's well worth it. Think about it, guys. You buy this once, you don't ever have to worry about it again. They're oil free. There's no real problems with them ever, and they work. You're going to spend what, $10 a propellant can? After 4 propellant cans, you could have ordered one of these from Harbor Freight and had it delivered right to your doorstep for that same price. It's not worth it to go any other way, because this is going to be a lifetime supply of compressed air for airbrushing. This is the way to go if you want to save some money. Well, have a good one. Alright, everybody, I know I'm kind of crooked, okay? I'm not on a boat rocking back and forth, I'm just crooked. I don't have my tripod, it's in the bedroom, and the wife's sleeping. Final thoughts. Well, some of you already know this. I've already posted the rules on Facebook, but I'm going to give you a skim over now of the contest that I'm going to be running starting in April monthly. Anybody out there that is subscribed to me, you're already entered, as long as you don't have a profile set to private. If it's set to private, I can't tell you're subscribed to me, so your name is not on the list. Sorry, I'm just leaving that as your void if I can't see that you're subscribed to me. I know that might sound like, oh man, you're gypping us, but unfortunately, I can't count your name if I can't see your name. That's kind of the way it's got to work. Anybody that has donated items or donated to my Patreon will have a second number in that drawing. Alright? That's just the way it is. These are guys that are helping me out, so I'm going to give them an extra shot at helping themselves back. The prize is half. No, sorry. The prize is 10% of my Patreon. 10%. Right now, I have got 2 subscribers donating to me $20. Unfortunately, with the way Patreon works, is they take a cut of it in order to pay for their website and my webpage and everything else on their site. Kind of sucks, I know. But at the end of it all, when it trickles down, I make between $18 and $19. Alright? Doesn't seem like much. Well, hopefully with this contest, I will get more Patreon subscribers. On my Patreon page, you can donate as little as $1. Okay? So if I could get about 20 more of you to donate $1, not only would that be more people with the chance of getting money back, but guess what? The base prize is already $1.90. So if you're donating $1 to me for a month, guess what? If you win, you've won your dollar back and then another 90 cents. But because you've also donated, that you have pretty much helped me out and probably broke me over the $20 mark. So you'd have $2 in your pocket for donating $1. Okay? It's a great chance for some of you guys to double your money. We get up there, we get enough subscribers to where I'm making the $100 goal that I have set for a month. Then guess what? That's a return to you of $10 if you win. Well worth it, if you ask me. That's 10 times what you're paying for $1. Now, that's all up to you though. But I do mean anybody that's donated any items or to my Patreon. That means BNSF6951 and everybody on my credits, including Sparky1077 and Roy Hardwick, which is Containerman68, Jay Raby, which is Rail Rider Raby, CSX 2586 Rail Rider Raby. That's it. Yeah, I finally remembered something. So there you go. That's the big deal. Those guys have got 2 numbers in the drawing because they've helped me out, including Michael Livingston has 2 drawings in there. And I just found out that he subscribed to me on YouTube anyways, and I did not even know this. But he's been a big help to me. He's contributed a lot to help out with not only the model trains, but also just in general with my household. So I'd feel great if he actually won it. But I'm doing it by random number generation. I can get to that through my phone at randomnumbergenerator.gov or .org, sorry. And I can just type in the maximum, the minimum, hit generate, and bam, I'll have the number. That will be the first Sunday of every month. That number will show up. You will have 7 days after I call the number and the name associated with the number on that Sunday's video. You will have 7 days to get a hold of me. So from that Sunday till the next Sunday, you will have that length of time to get a hold of me. If nobody calls me up, emails me, whatever, by the point in time that's said and done, the prize is forfeit. I will not be drawing another name or number for that month. So that's it. If you win, you better be ready to contact me within a week. If you don't win, oh well. This is final thoughts from me. Y'all have a good one.